Okay. Yeah, so namaste. We have a few minutes before we start. And I just thought I would chant a little bit here. And thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. And maybe put a little shout out in the comments. Let me know who's out there. Great. Yeah, let's see. Hi, Eric. Namaste. Appreciate you regulars showing up for your practice. Okay. Dinanantva Ganapatigam Havamahe Priyanantva Priyapatigam Havamahe Nidinantva Nidipatigam Havamahe Vaso Mama Aham Jani Garbadamatmunajasi Garbadam Swastinandra Vredashavaha Swastinaha Pusha Vishvavedaha Swastinastaraksha Harishtinihi Swastina Vriaspatir Didatu Paya Prativyam Payo Shishu Payo Divintam Payo Daha Payaspatihi Pradishaha Santu Mayam Vishnoho Raratamasi Vishnoho Kshnaptrestaho Vishno Charasi Vishno Divosi Vaishnavasi Vishnavetva Agnir Devata, Vato Devata, Suryo Devata, Chandrama Devata, Vasavo Devata, Rudro Devata, Aditya Devata, Marato Devata, Vishve Deva, Devata Vryaskatindir, Devatindro Devata, Parano Devata. Yaho Shantir, Rantariksham Shantihi, Prithvi Shantir, Apaha Shantir, Oshadaya Shantihi, Manaspataya Shantir, Vishve Deva Shanti, Brahma Shantihi, Sarvam Shanti, Shantireva Shantihi, Sama Shantirehi. Om Vishvani Deva Savita Duritani Pura Suvaya Padruntana Suva Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Sarva Vishta Shushantir Bhavatu. Okay, friends. I'm just going to slip a little closer here. And thanks. Thanks for joining. And I've titled this class, the sadhana of conscious awareness. And I think we're always trafficking in that region, if you will, in our practice, where we're invoking, or trying to invoke the concept of conscious awareness. And really what's activating me right now is this idea that so much is like spinning up in the world around the rightness and the wrongness of things, and personalities and race and how we identify and all that. And it's certainly all valid, and yoga invites us, though, to kind of pierce through all of the processing of the personality, if you will, and meditate on motionless awareness. And that is really where yoga guides, if you will, our identification. Is it's trying to create the fabric of our being to transform, if you will, the ability of our awareness to be directed into something that's essentially formless, if you will. And so that's just really, up for me right now, in that, so many of these things are wonderful. And at the same time, our yoga practice asks of us to just go deeper through the fabric of the creation. And so as we practice here this afternoon, I'll guide us into that, hopefully that place of presence, that place of stillness and things of that nature. Hi, Tammy. So again, namaste, namaskars for joining. I'm just going to slip back to my cushion here, to my mat, and we'll kind of begin here. So take a comfortable seated position, as that, informs you. And then just feel almost like a density or a weight of the pelvis grounding into the seated form, and extension in the spine, if you will, an extension in the spine. And then as you begin to breathe here, let's, integrate the diaphragmatic breath, as we know, the belly breath. And we have explored how that, diaphragmatic breathing allows for the sympathetic nervous system to deregulate, to become a little more soft in its kind of elements, and then allows for the parasympathetic system to expand. Let the body relax. Let your mind become free of thought patterns. And allow if you will, the mental effort to be directed towards first the breath, and then allow that mental effort to subside. Turn the volume down, and then turn the volume up of your awareness mind. Maybe notice that there's a fabric of stillness that's appearing. And then maybe focus on the motionless awareness. And notice that it's within and with also without. Let a sankalpa appear and intention appear. Let that unravel. And we'll chant a couple of ohms to our intentions and kind of the activating vibration for our practice. Deepen into the sadhana of conscious awareness. Exhale the breath completely and then take a big inhale to chant Om. Om. And again, a nice big inhale. Om. Buddha Shringadachira Sushona Pate Jiva Sri Ram Paramashiva Padiyojiyam Swaha Om Yam Linga Sharira Shushaya Swaha Om Brahm Sankosha Shariram Dada Swaha Om Paramashiva Sushumna Patena Mulashingata Mulasalasa Jvala 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 Soham Hamsa Swaha. Some mantra to purify the body, to illuminate its inner channels, and so these refined cosmic energies can move through us, and through that pathway illuminate the capability of our perceptions. And then a protection mantra is to imagine that there's a sphere surrounding you and above you and below you. Om Purve Rakshata Govinda Hagayam Garuda Dvija Yam Yam Rakshata Varaho Nasimastu Nairite Varyam Kishavo Rakshat Vayavyad Madhusudanaha Uttari Sriduro Rakshat Ishane Tugararpara Urvargo Vardano Rasat Satcha Trivikramaha Ivam Dastasho Rakshat Vasudevo Janardanaha. Om. Okay, friends, we'll just gently open our eyes here and come off of the seated support. If you're on a seated support, we'll stay in seated position for just a little bit here to begin to warm and open the body. From here, let's interlace our fingers and extend the palms out. And then with an inhale, float the hands and arms over the head and just really reaching the body long, breathing deeply here. And then take a nice big inhale when you're ready. And exhale, float the hands and arms down, rounding the low back, rocking back on the sacrum, little stretch of the back body. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms up, reach real tall. Then exhale, float down. And then just continue this rhythm of movement and breathing. And then also, though, begin to notice that your awareness is first being tethered towards, say, the physical apparatus, the experience, the sensations, the breath. But then one can sustain a portion of your awareness into that conscious awareness, the meditating on motionless awareness, meditating on the stillness. It's just an interesting way to kind of navigate how we can expand in our awareness capabilities. We'll meet at the top here, and then gently float the hands and arms shoulder height. The right palm turns up, the left palm turns down. Then we'll just twist the arms here, stirring the upper arm bone in the shoulder joint, the humerus bone, and just allow for that to open a little bit. And then circle the wrists. So invite the fingers to participate so the forearms get a little bit of a stretch that way. And then we'll come into eagle arms, inhale, float arms up. And exhale, the right arm under the left, bend elbows, forearms come together. Elbows out and up, shoulder blades track down the back. And then give the head a little bit of a stir here, stretching the neck. And that's all real nice. Super sweet that way. In the neutral position with the head, inhale, sweep hands and arms really wide like you're hugging a beach ball. And then exhale the left arm under the right. So again, now bending elbows, forearms come together. Elbows out and up, shoulder blades down, back, head stirs here. A little stretch of the neck. That's good. In the neutral position with the head, inhale, float, hands and arms wide. Then exhale them behind you and interlace the fingers and just breathe very, very deeply here. Deep breathing, conscious moments. Oh, yeah. Really good. And then soften the grip of the hands and extend the right hand out here. And then left palm turns up, inhale, float, left arm up, exhale over the head. And just really reach for it here. You can bend into this right elbow a little bit, sinking a little deeper, kind of pivot the heart space open if you like. And then let's just bend the elbow and feel the shoulder blade kind of track into the back ribs. Breathing deep continuously. And then inhale, float, hand and arm up, exhale, release it down. Extend this now left hand, of course, right palm turns up, inhale, float, right arm up. And exhale, arm over the head. And just, again, really reach for it if you will to get some length in the side body. And then again, maybe a little bend now in that left elbow to deepen into it. Stay with the breath. The gaze can turn up here partially if you like. And then now put a little bend in that right elbow and just feel the shoulder blade kind of integrate into the back ribs. A little more opening for shoulder and also heart space, really. And then inhale, float, hand and up, reach real tall. Then exhale, gently float, hand and arm down. And then the palms turn up here, inhale, sweep. And then it will spiral to the right. So twisting, release this left hand on the outside of the right knee, right arm behind you. Reassert length in the spine. So sit tall, look deeply over the right shoulder. Breathe into the belly here. Yeah, and in these times when we're sustaining a form, let your awareness traffic in experience and then beyond experience, if you will, into, again, conscious awareness, meditating on motionless awareness. And take a nice big inhale. Exhale, soften to neutral position here. And then inhale, float hands and arms up. And then we spiral to the left, releasing hands and arms down. Extend front spine, lengthen here. Breathe deeply into the belly. And then just recognize the possibility, the capacity to direct your perception, direct your awareness. That's how we begin to evolve through the world and beyond it, beyond personality and thoughts, if you will. The nice big inhale, exhale, soften to neutral position here. And then let's just draw the knees up, give the hips a little bit of a respite there, a little bit of a break from that seated position. But I do want to kind of work with the extra rotation of the legs a little bit for seated practice. And so let the hands go behind you, float the hips, and then float this right foot above the left knee, like so. There's that figure 4. And then just gently release the hips down. Maybe scoot the hips towards the heel a little bit. Make any kind of movements to get kind of comfortable in the position. Spread the toes of that right foot. And then bring the belly button to the spine. Feel that. Wow. And then a nice big inhale. We'll add a little movement here. Exhale, the foot over to the left. Just kind of feel into that gently. And then inhale, float the legs up. And then exhale them over to the right. Yeah, just a little movement there. And then back to neutral. And then walk gently. Walk this left foot over to the right. And we come into Agni Stambhasana. It means fire log pose. Fire log pose. Let the ankle be free as it can. If the hips are tight, the knee will be elevated like that. That's okay. Just work with whatever is suitable. Spread the toes a little bit. Let the torso lengthen up. Breathe deeply into whatever sensitivities may be appearing in the hips, and recognize that the mind can be completely bound here, or it can recognize here and be spacious in the awareness field. And that's really where we're guided in our sadhana practice, essentially. Yeah. And then gently float back onto the sacrum. We'll unravel here, just tenderly move from this position, and we'll switch and draw the left foot above now that right knee, and then just slip the hips down. Maybe walk the hips a little closer to the heel if you want a little more sensation that way. Spread the toes of the left foot, belly button to the spine. That always puts a pretty good marker on the experience. Yeah. And then a big inhale, and exhale, float. Now this left foot over to the right. Let that just tenderly touch the ground. And then inhale, float on up. And then over to the other side. Just slow movements here. And then gently float up to neutral. Draw now this right foot over to the left. We just gently walk it over into Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. I'm going to slip back onto my mat. Legs stack or so. And then again, if the knee's up, that's fine. This is can be a pretty tender pose. Let the ankle be somewhat free, so the foot is, say, not sickled, is the word, sickled. Little spread of all 10 toes or so. So there's some muscle contraction organizing around the ankle and the knee somewhat here. Spine is long, breath is deep, recognizing experience and awareness. Yeah, that's the kicker. And then gently we kind of float back onto the sacrum here. Unravel. Yeah, extend the legs out. Just take a moment with this. Draw the hands to the shins here. Let the action be up. And then just put a little energy to float the heart forward. Not rounding, though. We're still extending up, but float forward. Just a little tap in on the hamstrings here. Just a little information for the hamstrings that way. Yep. Just to wake them up just slightly here. Take a nice big inhale, and exhale. We'll float out of this into a tabletop position. So just unravel here. Come to all fours. Wrist stack under the shoulders here. Of course, knees stacking under the hips. And then let's just begin a little circling of the hips to just kind of free the body up from any stickiness that may have emerged in the seated position or any of the static nature of the forms that we just completed. Yeah, a little circling of the hips. Feel free to barrel roll the torso, any kind of movement there. That just feels good. And then when it maybe feels really vital, you can switch the direction. Just feel your way all the way through that. Yeah, nice, you guys. And then back into neutral tabletop position. And the left hand floats under the face. And with an inhale, take the right hand to the sky. Give the wrist a spin. Breathe very deeply. Pretty familiar territory. Big inhale. The exhale, float now this right hand through on the inside of the left shoulder and ear to the mat. The left hand reaches to the top edge of the mat or so, hips to the right. And we know that will seal the twist along the length of the spine. Breathing. Yep. And then a nice big inhale here. Exhale, this left hand underneath you, ground it. Float the right hand back to the sky. And then we'll switch this all out. So ground when you're ready. That right hand will be turning away from you, of course. And I'll float the left arm to the sky. Give the wrist a spin. Breathe deeply. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, float when you're ready. This left hand through on the inside of the right shoulder and ear to the mat. Right hand reaches top edge of the mat. The hips drift to the left. And just breathe very, very deeply here. Stay with the breathing. And then a nice big inhale and exhale. Now that right hand back underneath you, ground it. Float the left arm, reaching real tall, and then exhale back into neutral position. So I'm just going to spin around so I face you guys. Love this one. Extend the right leg out to the right. The toes point forward here. The hips drift back. And again, bend the elbows. We come under the forearms here. Energetically, the pubic bone can draw back a little bit in this position, we know. And that anteriorly pivots the pelvis. Oh, sweet little awakening for the inner groin area. And then gently, we'll come back onto the hands firm. Left hand grounds, and then the right hand reaches to the sky. Yeah, breathe. So nice. Yeah, big inhale, and then exhale, release the hand down. And then back to neutral tabletop, we switch. So extend when we're ready. This now left leg out to left toes. Point forward, hips drift back, and then elbows bend, forearms catch our balance. Again, energetically, we can just pull the pubic bone just slightly back, and that'll tip the pelvis forward. We'll feel that. Conscious awareness, so we have sensation, guided awareness, as well as just observation, essentially, yeah. And then draw up to neutral here, hands ground when you're ready. Right hand, particularly left arm, floats up. We just reach, big stretch here, opening, big inhale, then exhale back into neutral tabletop position here. We'll come eventually into down dog. First, though, extend the right leg behind you, tuck the back toes under on the mat. So just wake up into the bottom of the foot, the calf and Achilles, and then gently switch this out. So extend the left toes, tuck under on the mat, a little stir of the pelvis. Even that feels good. Neutral position, Adho Mukha Svanasana, we know down dog. So float hips when you're ready and just kind of wiggle your way into it, whatever might feel good. Take a moment though and ensure that the hands are in a secure position. So grounding the roots of the fingers, particularly index and thumb of each hand, and then just a little gentle drape of the triceps towards the earth. And that just helps illuminate, it seems like, the spine and the length of the torso. Yeah, breathing deeply here. Stay with the breath. Oh, yeah. Lift the heels now. Come up on the tippy toes. Heels lift. Maybe a little bend in the knees even. Sink the heart a little further. Deepen into that. And then with an inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, release the heels. Down. Kind of more energy for the calf, Achilles, yeah, and then pull a little bend in the right knee, ground the right hand, stretch the left calf and Achilles, deepen into that little kind of cross stretch sensation. We'll switch. So straighten right leg, bend left knee, ground left hand, right calf and Achilles. Little pedaling between the two, if you like, even a little movement of the hips. And then gently, a little bend in the knees, and then just walk the feet to the hands. We'll meet in a forward fold at the top of the mat here. So Uttanasana, we know. Let the weight kind of pivot towards the balls of the feet. Make sure there's some space in between the feet. A little reminder. Head can stir here, yes and no. Maybe traction the spine by grabbing opposite elbows and taking belly button to the spine. That always deepens the sensation significantly here. And then inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Pause here. Again, fabricate directed perception to, sensation, but then beyond sensation into sense of presence, if you will. Big inhale. Exhale, lengthen out as you pull down, chin tucks. Hands release at the bottom. And again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then put a little bend in the knees, and we'll send now the left leg back into the lunge. And we'll ground the left knee. You may want to put a blanket under the patella. You choose how that shows up for your body. We're here. And then we just draw the hands to the right knee or thigh. Just sink into this like so, just feeling into that opening that we're getting in the left hip flexor, and then open the arms to the sky. Let the palms face forward here just for fun. Feel that, and then as the arms kind of float back, keep the core engaged here so the pelvis is organized. Breathe very deeply here, and then with an inhale, bend the elbows, let the heart flourish. That's so good. And then inhale, reach to the stars here. And then exhale, hands to prayer. And then we'll twist to the right. So left elbow on the outside of knee or thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Just feeling into that for a moment. Some of you may want to take it deeper by opening into this. You can. That's a lot. Just stay with the breath wherever you may be. It's not so much how deep you go, but just having the sense of presence, conscious awareness, sadhana. Big inhale, exhale, we release the twist here, hands plant, and then with an inhale, straighten the front leg, toes pull up, and then exhale, bow over the extended leg. Just stay with your breathing and stay with, again, this directed quality of your awareness and perception. And then ground that right foot all the way up to the toe, so feel the top of the foot opening up all nice. And then gently bend that front leg knee. The hands walk forward here. The knee opens to the right. Hips sink here. Ground that left hand. Take the right hand to the right knee first. Twist. And then we'll float the arm this time for all of us. And then if you want, you can bend that left knee. Capture the foot or ankle. Tracking heel towards the buttocks. Open up into the quad area. Lovely. Nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release the foot here. The hand plants this right hand. Inhale the breath. And then exhale, step back into down dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Oh, beautiful. Breathing very deeply here. Breathing very deeply. So nice. And then let the left foot step now to the left hand. So we'll kind of come out of it the way we went in. Release now the right knee to the earth. Feel into that. Maybe a blanket or something under the knee. Then just come on up here. Sink into that front leg. As appropriate. Feel your way into it. Just tenderly move into these yoga poses. There's no need to rush or force. It's always conscious awareness. Guided, and then float the arms here. Begin to tone the belly so the lumbar spine begins to have some structure to it. Palms facing forward. Let the hands drift back, and you begin to feel the shoulder blades work into the back ribs. Keep reaching, and then with an inhale, we'll bend the elbows. Let the heart just flourish open. Stay with the breath. Oh, yeah. And then inhale, reach to the stars. Exhale, hands to prayer. And then we'll twist now to the left. So right elbow, slowly moving. With awareness sinking armpit to knee, possibly. Breathe into the tummy, and that just opens up into the back ribs. And then once again, you may want to take a deeper right hand to the earth, left hand up. A little adjustment in the spine there. Ooh, and then a big inhale. And exhale, we'll release completely out of the twist, hands plant. And then inhale, straighten the leg. And then exhale, bow over that extended leg. So a sweet little stretch of that left hamstring now. And then ground that left foot all the way to the toe. So the top of the foot opens. Really nice. And then inhale, bend the front leg knee. The hands step forward here. And then the left knee opens to the left. The pelvis sinks here. That right hand grounds. And then left hand, left knee, just twist open. And we all can float this left arm reaching. And then possibly a little bend of that. Now right knee capturing the foot, tracking heel towards the buttocks. Little stretch of the quad, or big stretch of the quad it is. And staying aware though. Yeah, big inhale. And exhale, gently release the foot here. Hand plants this left hand. Inhale, you're breathing. And then we'll meet in a forward fold. So back foot steps to the top of the mat here. Yeah. And then inhale, half lift. Ardha, pause there. And then a little bend in the knees, and we'll meet in standing. So let the elbows lift flat back all the way up here. Reach the arms over the head long. Put a little sway in the body. Always pretty yummy just to move and feel. And again, tethering some of the awareness to the stillness. Release the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Inhale, extend. Front spine, go tall. And exhale, bend the knees. Generously hinge at the hips. Float the hands and arms over the head. Oh, just a sweet release of the low back. The belly can draw to the spine here. Whatever's suitable for your body. Then a nice big inhale. Exhale, gently release the grip of the hands here. Plant them and step back into down dog. Back into downward facing dog. Breathe deep, and then gently here, release to the knees. Come into child's pose. Hips to the heels. Let the hands float back to the ankles if that's comfortable for you. Forehead to the earth, of course. And just let go. Soften into experience. And then gently come forward into tabletop, and then just flip over onto your back. We'll just do a little brief, feeling like a little brief Shavasana here this afternoon for our practice. Just to tone things down a little bit. Just come onto a flat back. Take a belly breath or two. And then let the breathing subside into a more peaceful rhythm. And begin to recognize, you can be aware of the pulsating pranic energies. One can be aware of the motionless awareness. And just gently make your way back the breath a little deeper first. A little deepening of your breathing and slowly add a little bit of movement to the hands and ankles. A little stretch of the arms at some point and hugging the knees into the chest, and then roll to either side, whatever side feels best for your body. And then gently make your way up into a seated position. So as we know, take a moment here to get organized for our seated practice. Our pranayama practice. I feel the messaging here to go into the 4 purifications. And I want to talk about them first before we fully practice them, in case there are some of you out there that may be newer to these practices. The 4 purifications are a set of practices that, as the name implies, have purifying qualities to them. They're actually adjunct practices to an Ayurveda regimen called Panchakarma or Shat Karma. Panchakarma is a set of purification practices that are actually done when it's properly applied over a month period of time. And they are very involved practices. I'm not going to go into that. But the 4 purifications are methods that I wouldn't say necessarily replace those Panchakarma practices of Ayurveda, but they're strong substitutes, if you will, with this idea that the 4 purifications ultimately also balance the 3 doshas, which are the 3 body constitutions of our bioenergetic being, if you will. So that's one of the deeper reflections. There's many, but one of the deeper reflections of the 4 purifications. We begin the practice of the 4 purifications by Nadi Shodan. Nadi, that means essentially nerve channel, but it's subtle nerve channel. And Shodan essentially means cleansing. So Nadi Shodan is nerve cleansing practice, but we know this is alternate nostril breathing in like our English vernacular, if you will. It's done by folding the index finger and the middle finger into the palm of the hand and extending the thumb and the ring finger of the right hand. And then we bring the right hand to the face and the elbow lifts, so there's space here in the right lung area. And so do that now if you haven't already. We'll begin to practice this together. Exhale the breath completely and then close the right nostril with the right thumb. And then with a yogic breath, belly, ribs, chest, inhale through the left nostril. Get to the top of that breath, lift the thumb and take the ring finger and close the left nostril and exhale through the right. And then when you're ready, simply inhale through the right, the full yogic breath, belly, ribs, chest. Top of that breath, lift the ring finger, take the thumb, close the right nostril, and exhale through the left. That constitutes 1 round. Continue this practice. I'm going to talk just a little bit. Close the eyes when that feels comfortable for you. What happens in Nadi Shodan is that the subtle body channel of Ida and Pingala Nadi, Ida is the female channel, she exits out the left nostril. Pingala is the male channel, and he exits out the right nostril. They both go through the third eye chakra, and then they filter down the subtle body and end up at the root of the spine. When we do this practice, we can essentially look at the brow center. So one method is to roll the eyes up inside the head. And as you inhale, imagine that you're lifting the energy into the third eye chakra where Ida and Pingala Nadi are tracking. It's a way to purify the third eye and also deposit, if you will, some of the pranic energy that's flowing through the energy channels of Ida and Pingala Nadi. It's very somewhat esoteric, but it's opening these upper regions of the capability of our perception. As we move into our pranayama practice, again, toning into the field of conscious awareness. The mind can track physical experience and then also can track the observations, the witness of experience. Just continuing the practice. Staying with the discipline. And then just listen carefully with your next exhalation out the left nostril. In other words, completing the round that you're on. Just complete the practice here. Let the eyes stay closed. Just feel the embodiment of the experience. the mind stays present here and engaged in the subtleties of whatever inner nature is unfolding for you. Very nice. So gently now, slowly open the eyes, and we'll move on to what's called Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati, and it means skull shining practice. It's done with a kind of a tone of the core, breathing into the chest, using the diaphragm to move the breath in sharp, short repetitions. And the concentration is on the exhale breath, and the inhale comes in naturally. I'm going to do a demonstration. It looks and sounds like this. It's kind of like a tapping, but what's happening is you're ascending the breath into the center of the brain, essentially into the third eye chakra. It's a chest breath. The core is toned here. And again, it's the diaphragm that's moving the breath. This practice is a drying practice and slightly heating. And so this practice is known to balance Kapha-dosha. Kapha-dosha. Kapha-dosha is the elements of earth and water, and can be liquidy, phlegmy, if you will. And so this is a great practice for now. We'll do 2 rounds of 50 repetitions each. It begins by taking about an inhale of about an 80% capacity of your lungs, and then tapping, tapping, tapping. Rhythm is more important than pace. And so we'll begin together. Exhale the breath completely, and then inhaling 80%. And then we'll take a catch breath together. So inhale and exhale. And then our second round, inhale 80% and begin. Completing the practice, just keep the eyes closed here. Breathe normally. Just feel the effects of the practice, maybe a little temperature change, maybe a little more sparkly. Kapalbhati, skull shining. So just gently open the eyes. So our third practice here is called Agni Sardauti. It means the fire wash, Agni fire Dauti washing. It's done by taking a full yogic breath, inhaling, then exhaling out all the breath, and then holding the breath out as you lean forward here and oscillate the tummy to the spine and releasing it in rapid succession. Little demo. Rhythm is more important than pace. That's what it looks like. And then you relax the belly out and then go for an inhalation. So the seat of Pitta dosha, so the seat of Pitta dosha are the small intestines. So this region right here, our digestive fire, if you will. And so by manipulating this region of the body in that way, it begins to pacify the area of Pitta dosha and also invoke some of its energies. It has kind of a dual power to it. And so Kapalbhati, Kapha dosha, Agni Sardati, Pitta dosha. We'll do 2 rounds of this. It's really based upon how long you can hold the breath out. Don't stress it too much, but also find the end of your capacity as well. So we'll take a full yogic breath inhale together. Exhale out all the air, lean forward, balance the hands. Hold the breath out and oscillate the tummy. Inhale when you need. Take a little catch breath here. And then the second round, take an inhale. Exhale, lean forward, balance the hands, oscillate the belly to the spine and release. Rhythm is more important than pace. Again, hold the breath out. No cheating, no breathing. And close the eyes again. Feel the effects of the practice. You may feel a little more warm, a little increase in temperature. That's that Pitta dosha dispersing. Oh, yeah. And then gently open the eyes here. And the last practice is called Agni Sardati, the fire wash. It's done on an inhale retention. So inhale the breath, hold the breath in. And the practice is squeezing and releasing the anal sphincter muscle. Rhythm is more important than pace in succession. Sometimes that can be a little hard to access because in the seated position like this, the muscles of the pelvic floor are being stretched. And so one can lean back a little bit and you might be able to isolate a little better the area of the anal sphincter, if you will. And then it's just, again, I use my hand to kind of as an example of what's happening in the pelvic floor, squeezing and releasing. All done on an inhale retention. So the seat of Vata dosha, the seat of Vata is the colon and the large intestines. And so by, if you will, manipulating this area of the physical body, we're working in that dosha bioenergy, essentially. Clarifying it, purifying it, balancing it, right? And so that's what's happening with Agni Sardati, or check that, Ashwini Mudra, the horse seal. So we'll practice this together. We'll do 2 rounds. So exhale your breathing completely. And then take full yogic breath, inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Hold the breath in and squeeze and release the anal sphincter muscle. Hold the breath as long as comfortable. And then exhaling, we'll do 2 rounds of this as well. Just breathing when you need to. And exhaling now. And we'll do 1 more round. We'll just move right into it. A full inhalation. Hold the breath. Squeeze, release. And breathe when you need to. Eyes closed. And then gently open the eyes here. We'll do 1 final pranayama. And I'm feeling kind of warm right now. You know, those had this very purifying effect to my body today. And it normally does. And so then we need to kind of cool off internally. And so we do either Shitali pranayama or Sitkari. Shitali is called the cooling breath, and Sitkari is the hissing breath. Shitali is done by turning the tongue into a pipe shape and then breathing into the belly over the surface of the tongue and then closing the mouth and exhaling through the nostrils. That's Shitali pranayama. Belly breath over the pipe shape of the tongue. That's a genetic capability to turn the tongue into a pipe shape. So if one is not able to do that, that's where Sitkari comes in to play. And that's the hissing breath. And it's done by just opening the mouth, bringing the teeth together, and then bringing the tongue to the back of the teeth. And then inhaling into the belly. As the belly inflates, the breath is drawn through the teeth and across the surface of the tongue. And then same as before, close the mouth and exhale out through the nostrils. So pick one that you want to do, and we'll do just a few rounds as time permits. Cooling practice. And just gently, 1 more round. The eyes stay closed here. Make any adjustments to the seated position. So we'll move into our meditation. One of the things that we've been practicing in Saturday morning class as well as this Tuesday class is this concept of non-duality or universality and in the fabric of our philosophy and the access points in our practice and our spiritual attunements. The concept of meditating on motionless awareness connects directly to that theme of a non-dual super nature of spiritual height, if you will. In this meditation, there's no necessarily point to bring your focus on. It's more of a principle of recognition of conscious awareness. The meditation is guided to be very subtle and refined. The breathing, such an important element here in this practice, to be very light, virtually indetectable. The breath is almost as if it's a vapor. And it's very likely or possible that the mind has difficulty directing its capacity. It's too abstract. And so just concentrate on the sensation of stillness. The nature of motionless awareness. And thought can emerge. That's certainly normal, the nature of mind. One suggestion or guide is to just echo behind that thought in the mind the silent mantra of Om. and then back being directed towards like illuminated stillness. And then begin to discover the sensation of the field of awareness that's surrounding the body begins to expand in 360 degrees. And as the awareness expands, the sense of presence magnifies. And then allow that sense of presence to just essentially insert itself into your nervous system. awakening into present moment perception perpetually. Allowing the stillness to saturate. And just gently let the breath lengthen very subtly. Allow your perception and your awareness to stay kind of in the attunement of the stillness. Allow for a sense of peace to integrate into the being. A softness permeates all emotion and all thought. Almost as if compassion's vibration is apparent. Let's bring hands to prayer here at the heart and just feel into your intention. Say that be a supportive character and guide and integrate it into this field of your refined awareness. And we'll chant one Om to complete our practice here this afternoon. So exhale your breathing and then take a nice inhale here. Just feeling all the feels here. So gratitude for you sharing your time and space practice here with me this afternoon, and more just that commitment to your own sadhana, to the practice of yoga. Namaste. Ooh, okay, friends. Thank you so much for joining. And I really, these times are so sacred for me, having these practices together. It's always so incredibly potent. And so I just want to thank you again. Put a little shout out in the comments. Venmo thanks, appreciated. And retreats are coming up. And so I have my retreat schedule planned. I'm starting to send emails out for invitations. And I'm kind of doing it by invitation. I'm not going to do like a big, promo blast kind of a thing. And so make sure that I can, contact you in some way. So send that out. Hi, Crystal. And so we'll get that going. It's a pretty special time. Through the fall at Shiva Live, done some more construction up there, and we have some, a big practice space now to experience and other things. And so, thank you again so much. Thank you, Eric, and love, peace, everyone. Namaste.